So we are going to make soup. Let's bring you with me. So first thing I like to do before I get started cooking is make sure everything is cleared off of the stove. Wipe down the stove so I don't burn anything onto it in case there's shit on it. Boop. Let's see if we can actually show you a little bit better what's happening over here. I have a cast iron pan. I had some leftover butter from somebody's fried egg, I think. Or maybe toast. So I'm just wiping it down. And we'll put it away. Well, not yet. It's too hot. I cannot tell if I can hear myself. You can hear me. Oh, thank fuck. Okay. Okay. Good. I've been desperately trying to figure out if anybody could hear me. Okay. Yeah, we're making soup. So what I'm making today is a chicken soup that's fairly quick and easy to make. I first learned about it as a recipe on Bon Appetit. This stove looks a little dirty. Let's wipe it down for a second. And the camera gets all steamy. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Thankfully, we just have my laptop camera, so you get to look from the side. So you won't have that problem. Okay. Yeah, I like to start with a clean kitchen. Dishes done, stove wiped down. So next thing I'm gonna do is get all of our ingredients ready. So let's bring you over to our cutting board. What we on? First time chat. Ben Jerome. We're on the internet. I don't know if you've heard about it. But we're making a chicken soup. I've had some chicken thighs defrosting for a couple of hours now. We're gonna put that in the soup. The other stuff we're gonna be putting in is we have chicken stock. I am streaming. FYI, making the food. We need to use a lemon. I bear a resemblance to Tilda Swinton. Huh. That's an interesting one. I haven't heard that before. Okay, we need a lemon. You distracted me so much with that one. Let's see. Oh, we have shishito peppers. Maybe we could do that. No, let's not. We need some potatoes. Normally, this recipe would call for sweet potatoes, but we don't have any. So we're going to use regular potatoes. Fingerling. Or do we? That's a russet. Damn it. Okay. We need ginger, fresh ginger. We need some garlic. And we need some soy sauce. Last thing that I can think of is rice. Rice goes in at the beginning. Ginger, garlic, rice, chicken. That cooks. And then what goes in? Does the chicken come out and then the potatoes go in? I might need to look up the recipe. No pumpkin today. We do have a honey nut squash that we have been roasting, which has been delicious. Thank you for picking that up. You're a delight. You're my favorite man. I'm assuming the chicken soup was good for today since it's cold. Okay. Is pilau what you would call like congee? Because it's not quite congee. Because I've made congee a lot the last couple of weeks, and it is nowhere near that. It's only just enough for the rice to break. Anyways, I will pick a pot to cook this in. I've got a couple that would work pretty well. We've got, because we need to put 5 cups of stock in here. You can use water and just let the chicken. Oh, jambalaya. I'm Cajun, man. I know what jambalaya consistency is, and this is not it. It only uses 1/3 of a cup of rice. That's not going to happen. So we need 5 cups of water or stock. You could use either one. You'll just have less flavor with water. So I'm going to use what is this? A 4-quart. 4-quart dealy thing. And we are going to pour in, boop, the stock. Each of these is going to be about, I think it's a little less than 2 cups for these. And one of these is particularly gelatinous because we really cooked the bones down. It's just a block of stock. That's great. Okay. And then let's see. And this one I was making some other kind of chickeny thing, and I just used the bones for the stock. Okay, so that is, these are about, so I probably need to do two more of these. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water just so we have enough. Pumpkin cow heel soup. No, I have not. Tell me about it. That sounds interesting. I'm assuming there's pumpkin involved. I am unsure if there's cow involved, and or whether or not there's cow feet involved. See, now I'm second guessing myself how much is in these things. There was this much. And then there was this much. How many cups is that? That's It's about 2 cups, and then I added another. So, okay, so I could use a little bit more. There we go. Okay, I'm not disorganized. So we're gonna turn the heat on just to get the gelatin to sort of dissolve a little bit. The next thing we want to do is get the chicken in there so it can start to cook. Let's see. Let's use this guy. And these are just whole bone-in chicken thighs. You could probably use boneless, but you get a little bit extra flavor this way. And this was a particularly large package of these. I don't think I would normally have this many, but we'll just nestle them right in there. Let's get this out of the way and wash my hands. Okay. It is cow feet in pumpkin soup. Very literal. I like it. St. Lucia. It's common there. Okay, cool. So for now, we're going to do this. I'm going to double check my. I'm going to double check my recipe. Where's my phone? Here we go. Buh, 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 buh. Lucia? Okay. Apologies. I'm not sure if I've heard it said out loud. Let's see. This was an Andy Barigani chicken warming soup. Feel better soup. That's what it's called. Okay. Third of a cup. Okay, 4 garlic cloves, a 2-inch piece of ginger. Okay, yeah, we have everything else. So let's get started on to a boil in a large saucepan. That's already starting. So let's get out the rice. And it asks for jasmine rice, which I have. And let's see. Big old pinch of salt. Done. Oh, I got a text. 1 second. Okay. Okay. So the next thing I'd like to do is rinse the rice so that we can get the extra starches off of it. We're gonna do 1/3. Whoops. I can close that drawer correctly. So yeah, we're gonna do 1/3 of jasmine rice. And the way I like to do this is I will use a fine mesh strainer. And I'm using a small one because this is not very much rice. And I'll put it in the strainer and then I'll put it in a bowl so that I can just pour water in, mix it around, get all the starches rinsed off. You guys can watch me do that. And I'll do that a couple of times until the water, everybody, cooks always say until the water runs clear, but that doesn't happen. It's just until the water gets clearer. Like it's going to be very dirty at first. So just keep going until the water is just a little bit clearer. Because like right now, the water is very cloudy and gross. And we're just trying to get most of the starches off so that it doesn't release too much starch into the soup. That's not what we want with this soup. And I'll usually rinse it like 3 or 4 times. And that's usually enough to where the starches aren't going to be too much of an issue. Like right now, it's a lot better. It's see, it's still cloudy, but it's a lot clearer than it was. So rice is going to go straight into our pot. And then we're going to get our aromatics. We're going to get our aromatics. The recipe says to slice them. I don't like slicing them. I like crushing them. I think that you get a nicer, I just prefer the flavor, personally. Oh, we're going to move the soy sauce over here. What? 1 second. Or maybe not. What is that? That's an absurd thing to send me in the, okay, whatever. We're not going to talk about that. Okay. So okay. So next thing, let's put the rice away. Knife. Knives are useful. If you want to cut a thing, use a knife. Didn't know if you knew that. Okay. Okay. 1 second. I'm just going to get some water. Okay. Oh, what's a good way of doing this without making my laptop fall over? Can we see the cutting board if we do this? Yeah, we can. Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do the ginger first just because it's a little less messy. Uh, I know a lot of cooks, they like to use a spoon to peel off the skin. I find that to be very aggravating. Um, so I just trim it off with a knife. I know you kind of lose a little bit of extra ginger that way, but gosh, oh, I've tried peeling garlic with this ginger with a spoon several times, and every time it makes me want to throw the spoon across the room. So I just try to control how much I remove without removing too much. I know if it's a particularly young piece of garlic, you don't have to really you don't really have to remove the skin. Like it's perfectly edible, but there is a textural issue with it, I think, especially in a soup like this. So that's probably about how much we should be using. I'm going to cut it into manageable pieces and then we're going to give them a really good smash because ginger is particularly fibrous. Yeah. And you can really just you can just completely mash it into pieces. It's great. And it releases a ton of those really nice, flavorful, sharp ginger juices. You can just do it with the flat of your blade. Just be careful not to cut yourself, tilt the sharp part away from you. You can even kind of like, I found this was a fun thing I learned recently is when you go to hit it like this and you flatten it, you can also drag it a little bit and it'll really like decimate this thing. Like, look at that. That's great. And now just because, like I said, it is a bit fibrous, so they do still kind of stick together a little. So I'm just going to give them a rough chop. It's a very bright garlic. I'm not used to it being quite this yellow. All right, that goes in the soup. All right. Ugh. Dropped some garlic on the floor, not garlic, ginger. Who decided those should both be aromatics that start with G? Okay, ginger's done with. Put it away. The next part is, let's wipe this down. So the next part is actually the garlic. It calls for 4 cloves of garlic. This is a particularly huge one, so maybe we'll do, I don't know, those 2 are kind of small. We'll do 4. 4's fine. And then similarly as with the ginger, knife smashing is very much your friend when you want to peel garlic. And unless if you want to like completely decimate it, you can just give it kind of a light tap, and the skin will loosen up just enough that you can just really easily peel it off. Just like that, no problem. But since I'm just giving him I'm just smashing them all to hell, I'll just squash them. It all comes off in one piece. Nice and simple. Gosh, this guy's huge. All right. Now, there is like something that you can do if there's like a particular bitterness from garlic flavors that you're not a fan of, what you can do is, and none of these are very visible because they're not really green, but one of the things that you can do is you can remove this like root part of the garlic. See, and this one's in pieces. Let's see. Maybe I can show you this one. Okay, yeah. So if you look at this, there's a root part of this garlic right here. And I know of at least one chef that did a test where if they removed that root, especially if it's like a greener root, then that like unpleasant bitterness is reduced quite a lot. Like, see, this one actually does have a little bit of green in it. So if you don't like that, you can just take it out. But I find that I don't care, especially in a meal like this. Maybe if it was more garlic centric, I'd have an issue, but I don't. So again, I prefer to smash these. The recipe calls for slicing them, but I prefer the release of flavor. Gosh, this one's so big. I prefer the release of flavors way more. And you give them a good smash and chop. Oh, I just found out I have a cut on my thumb because the garlic juices are getting into it, and that feels great. Okay, all right. Give these a rough chop. They'll be cooked down in this soup for like 20 to 30 minutes. So they'll kind of get really nice and soft and start to dissolve a tiny bit. Okay. And now we put this in the soup. Now that we've got all of our starter ingredients, we can turn the heat up and really start to get this to a boil. Rinse off the hands. And let's wipe down the cutting board so we don't get all that nasty garlic stuff stuck in there. All right, let's double check our recipe. So I've got bring it to a boil. We're working on that. Add salt, already done. So we're going to simmer it for 12 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes after that. We'll probably do 10 minutes just because It's already been sitting in there for some time. Let's rinse off this knife as well. Got shit all over it. Put the garlic away. And then potatoes. You take the chicken out. I see. I see. All right, so what we can do is we can prepare. How much lemon juice do we need? Whoops. It says 2 tablespoons. We'll probably get that out of half of this lemon because this thing's fucking huge. And then we can prep that with the soy sauce. We can slice the potatoes and get those ready, and then it's just a waiting game. All right, so I need, where's my lemon squeezer? Do I not have another bowl for this? Oh, I do have another bowl for this. Okay, so this is the lemon squeezy boy. We're just going to use this to squeeze out an amount. Oh, you probably can't even see that. Eh? Eh? Can we do this without this falling over? There, we'll do this. We'll squeeze out an amount of lemon juice. We'll measure this in a second. We'll see if it's the requisite 2 tablespoons. All right. It is exactly the requisite 2 tablespoons. Perfect. All right, so this other half of the lemon can go do something else for a while. We'll put it in we will put it in a good boy deli container. And I believe that this calls for 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, but it might be 3, so I'm going to double check. 2 tablespoons. God, I'm so clever. Wait a second. Oh, we're boiling. Bring it down to a simmer. Let's give this bitch a stir. Make sure the rice isn't sticking. She is not. Simmer uncovered, my friend. And then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. So what I like to do is we have two kinds of soy sauce here. This one's a little bit cheaper. It's just your standard Japanese shoyu soy sauce. And this guy right here is a a fairly expensive, also Japanese shoyu soy sauce. This one is aged in barrels for up to 4 years, and it's incredibly flavorful and delicious. Because it's so expensive, I don't like using it all the time for everything, but I do like to split it with this. So we're going to do half this and half this so that we get good flavor and it's okay flavor. And the price on that soy sauce can jump so drastically. There was one time where we got it when it was like $30, and there was another when it was available for, I don't know, 50, maybe more. We might have gotten it for, I don't think we've ever gotten it for less than 30 though. Okay. So that is, and this is basically our finishing sauce. This is what we'll put in at the end. So I'm going to put it aside over here so I don't bonk it about. And we will prep the potatoes in the meantime. Normally, normally this recipe would call for sweet potatoes, but there are two problems with that. Problem number one, I don't care for your standard sweet potato. I think it's uh, most of the time I think that it's a little overwhelmingly sweet if it's not prepared correctly. If it's done with like if it's like salty and peppery and smoky and roasty, then like that's good. But if you add extra sugar or something else, then it's ugh, hate it. Just hate it. Most of the time, though, what I would use is a Japanese sweet potato, which they have a purple skin and they have a white flesh on the inside. The texture is fairly similar to a sweet potato, like your standard garnet sweet potato, but is maybe a little bit crunchier. And yeah, so normally I would use those, but I haven't been seeing a lot of them at the market lately, so I haven't been getting them. And a regular potato will do just fine. The flavor of the soup will just be less sweet. So I'm going to give these guys a quick rinse and I'll be right back. So normally, if I were using a sweet potato, you would slice them into like maybe half-inch to three-quarter-inch slices, just like all along the whole potato, because you want the skin to hold the flesh of the potato together as it cooks. Um, these are like the Yukon Gold potatoes. They'll normally stay together pretty well anyways, but I'm gonna leave the skin on for the same reason, just so that they don't like fall apart while they cook. And I'll probably do, these guys are pretty small. So maybe these smaller guys I'll just cut in half. And these slightly bigger ones I'll do into thirds. Yeah, thirds sounds good. Let's cut that eye off of there. Does anybody enjoy eating the eyes off of potatoes? I sure don't. I used to, when I was very, very young, I know I was like less than 6 years old. Um, I remember my oldest sister, who's 7 years older than me, she was in the basement with me. For some reason, we had like a big thing of potatoes. I don't remember if it was like a barrel of potatoes or like a cardboard box of potatoes or something, but it was a big thing of potatoes, like russets, just this big thing of russet potatoes. And I was a fairly gullible child and a frightened one. So it was easy to trick me and very easy to scare me. And so she told me that the eyes on these russet potatoes were bugs. And for probably an embarrassingly long time afterwards, I thought that they were bugs. But we don't have to talk about that. Ugh. Sweet silly girl. So gullible, believes things that people tell her. All right. So we've got about 3 minutes left on the clock for before these potatoes go in. These are going to take less time to cook than sweet potatoes will. Sweet potatoes are denser, and so they're going to take way longer. So let's do some quick cleanup. I'm gonna rinse off my knife. And we will wipe down this cutting board. So here's what's neat about a wooden cutting board like this. This is a booze block. They're fairly beloved by cooks all over. What's really neat about them is they're more antibacterial than like a plastic cutting board. So they're great for keeping surfaces clean, and of course you have to treat it with oil so that it doesn't dry out and become horrible. But as long as you just wipe everything down regularly while you're cooking, this is a mix of like, shoot, I don't know if it's 5 to 1 or 3 to 1 of uh, water to vinegar, like water to regular distilled vinegar. That's My husband normally does that, so I don't remember, but it's a mixture of water and vinegar, which keeps everything nice and clean. So now that we've done that, I'm going to get rid of this bowl of food waste. If we had the ability to compost, we would. We unfortunately do not, so that goes in the trash. What else can we do in the next 1 minute and 15 seconds? Let's see if we can get some dishes done. Oh, you get to look right up my nose. So we know we're not going to use this again. We'll put this in the dishwasher. Same with this. And the measuring cup. I wonder if that'll fit up here. Hey, it does. Look at that. Cool. We're gonna do that then. This guy. This guy. Oh, there goes the timer. Okay, so now we add in the potatoes, I believe. And I'm gonna give this a quick stir just to make sure that like the rice has broken appropriately. It has. The chicken is starting to, yeah, the chicken is starting to look like it could probably come out soon because what we're gonna do is we're gonna shred it, debone it, take the skin off and shred it, and we'll put it back in later. So in with the potatoes. This can also go in the dishwasher. Hoi. And we've done a good bit of cleanup. So let's double check if we need to do this covered or uncovered. Let's just take a look at the stove. Because right now it's on a low simmer, but adding the potatoes cooled it off a good bit. So cook over medium-low heat. So we're gonna have to turn that up a little bit. Of course, every recipe that says like cook at medium, what they really mean is less than medium. Cook it high, what they really mean is less than high. Because if you do it more, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So still uncovered, stirring occasionally, 15 to 20 minutes longer, then we shred the chicken. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit less than 15 minutes. And then we'll shred the chicken just because, like I said, the potatoes are going to take less time, I think. And I think I am done with this. This is the towel I like to use to wipe my hands off when I'm handling food while cooking. Oy! All right. Looks like I might be alone in here. That's all right. Okay. Well, hello there. My name is Sherry. I've been living on the street with a murderous streak. What a shiny ring. You know what? Twitter's not dead yet. I'll tell people to come look at me. All right, you dorks. I'm cooking dinner. And the potatoes are boiling. AMA while we wait. Oh, fuck. The internet's great sometimes. Let's see. Horror story. It was a horror story. Copy link. Let's go. Oh, this is good fun. Let me take my hair down now that this part's done. All the difficult parts are done. Oh, man, I even kept the kitchen nice and clean. Look at me. Right between the eyes. Horror story. Whoops. Accident. It was a horror story. All my life in the dark, I've been waiting for. One sweet day, not alone, never anymore. You know, it's interesting now that Twitter's dying. It's like everyone's leaving. It barely works. Oh, it's kind of great, honestly. Man, Neil Gaiman's still on his bullshit though. Gosh, I love how much he corrects people. It's one of my favorite things. All right, we have, oh, 55 seconds. 55 seconds before we fish out that chicken. I'll use forks. I'll use I'll use tongs and forks because I really don't want to burn my fingers today. Maybe the real weekend was the ladies and gentlemen we met along the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Oh, goodness. All right, let's go get some chicken, shall we? BRB. All right, chicken. Whoops. There is just not a great way for us to do this, is there? Maybe there is. Chicken? Can we see chicken? Barely. Okay. I need a trash bowl. All right, first things first. We get to peel off all the skin. It imparts a lot of good flavor, but we don't want to eat it in our soup. Okay. So what I think I'll do next, hmm, should I do it with a knife? Oh no. Fork. Yep, I was right the first time. Fork. Because if we can grab hold of this bone, then we can just start peeling this away. And then we'll just grab the rest of it with our fingies and worry about being burned later. I like to go in on the underside of the thigh, by the way. Oh, that's a big old chunk of fat I don't want in the soup. Let's get that out of there. Ah! 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 I usually like to go in on the underside of the thigh. Like you can see this is the top, this is where I got the skin from, and this is the bottom, and this is the easiest access point to the bone to where we can debone it. So we can sort of just tear away at the flesh close to where we know the bone is, because we can see the knobs of the bone on either side of this thigh here. We just go in until we find the bone, and then we can get a good grip on it with the tongs, and then just tug at it with the fork. This is my own personal method. I don't know if anybody else does it this way, but it works for me, except for when it doesn't. But right now it's working for me. You do have to be careful a little bit of if the butcher hasn't done a great job of making sure all this gristle has been, like the extra bits of other pieces of bone have been removed. You need to make sure that doesn't come off with the meat. There we go. So that's trash. Let's see. So our next guy, I see you. I see you in there. Okay. And this recipe does suggest that you tear the chicken into pieces with the forks after you've like deboned them. I don't care enough about that. I guess there's like a textural thing that's probably very nice about that. I've done it before when I've made this soup. Um, but I don't know if I find it particularly necessary. Tearing it off of the bone like this and then just chopping it roughly with a knife. Like, see, here's another piece of gristle that the butcher didn't quite get. There we go. It really all comes down to preference, I think. And for me, I don't see any significant difference between the two. think those bones are starting to cool off a bit, which is nice. Look at all this delicious meat. It's gonna go back into our soup. All right, one more. And I see a bit of extra fat on there I don't want. Sometimes on the thighs, you'll have like these little layers of fat where the skin connected. That, especially once it's cooked, it can be a little hard to see once you've removed the skin. But it's just like really gelatinous and it's not always pleasant to eat. Okay. There we go. Oh, is there more on that? Oh my gosh. You know what? These are starting to be handleable by hand. So look at this massive piece of fat that was just stuck to that. Yeah, I'm not going to burn myself on this. Okay, great. Let's see. Is this okay? Any extra bits and bobs? Nope. All right, we'll just take the rest off of this guy and then we'll clean up the rest of these bones. Yeah, there's another big chunk of gristle that you don't want in there. Yeah, you just have to kind of be careful, depending on how the butcher does this. If you don't part out your chickens yourself, um, you just have to be careful about like what ends up being around these joints because sometimes they just they end up including a bunch of stuff from other parts of the leg that you don't necessarily want in your food. And I think by the time I'm finished cleaning up these bones and giving them a good rough chop, we are probably ready to put it back into the soup, at which point I'm going to taste it, see if it's salty enough. No, I won't. I'm sorry. I'm going to add the lemon juice and the soy sauce. Then I'm going to taste it and see if it's salty enough. If it is, great. We'll add some pepper and it's ready to eat. I think that's most of that. This big old chunk of gristle. Goodness gracious. There. Okay. I think that's most of what we can get off of these. So let's move all this out of the way. Get all the trash off of this cutting board. I'm just going to give these a rough chop so that they're all kind of bite size. Oh my gosh, I have a cut on my thumb and the chicken juice is killing me. Ah. All right. I think that's probably pretty good. All right, BRB, I'm going to rinse off my hands and then we're going to put this in the soup. All right, we are almost done. Let's make sure you guys can see our pot of gold. Let's turn this down a bit. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, really nice, like just barely making its way to kanji consistency, but not quite. It's just a slightly thick soup with rice and potatoes. Tastes good. Let's add our chicken. Try not to splash everywhere while we do so. Ah, ah. These chicken thighs were so much bigger than I thought they were going to be. This is way more than normal for this recipe. That looks great. Okay, so soy sauce and lemon juice. That's going to go in next. That adds a lot of really nice like freshness and sharpness from the lemon juice, and then the salty like umami flavors from the soy sauce, especially because I used the very good soy sauce. Oh, let's see. Let's give it a taste. Well, stir it first, maybe. Now, there is one piece missing from this recipe, and it's just because we rarely have it in the house. And I often make this when I just decide, oh, it's time to make this. And it's supposed to be topped with cilantro. And we do not have cilantro in this house at the moment. Ooh, baby. Oh, that lemon is strong today. The sweet potatoes always add, it needs sugar. I'm going to add some sugar. I do also think it needs salt, but I wanted to add sugar first. That's much better. And I was right. It does need more salt. Not too much, I don't think, but just a touch. And then um, and then we top it with pepper, and we're done. So once I serve this up for spouse and I, we get to say farewell. Oh no, that is enough salt. Okay. I was about to add more salt. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay. So now let's first time chat. Oh, hey. Hi. Hi, Amber. It's good to see you. It's hard to see from this angle. Um, but don't worry about it. I'm almost done cooking, so it might be like another 5 minutes, but you get to watch me finish up. Let's see. Let's do this. I think the flavors are all correct. And I think I've got the bowls we need. This is my bowl, and this is the Vikings bowl. I don't know if we've ever eaten out of each other's bowls, and we've had these for several years. And I don't know what that says about us. Ah, okay. Let's serve up my guy first. Hoi. Hoi. And a hoi. And of course it's a mess, but that's what this is for. Okay. Bit O-Pep. Yeah, normally this would be topped with cilantro, and I usually don't care for cilantro. I do think it tastes a bit like soap, but it's actually pretty good in this soup. Going to be web deving until like 5 a.m. Having Twitter go down when it became my home. Ain't that the truth? It feels very strange. I'm like going back and looking at um like all this shit that I like was liking and retweeting, and I'm like, what was the point? What even was the point? What what do we do? Okay. Let's see. What's the word for chicken? Shilling? Shilling soup? For for my? There. I bet you a Norwegian could understand that, but they might have to listen very hard. Shilling, shilling. I always do that like shh sound all wrong. They always make fun of me for it. They don't always make fun of me for it, but my husband makes fun of me for it. Point was to stay oh, uh, on the site until they forced us to go away like a dive bar. Yeah, you're probably right. Now a little bit of pep on mine. Hoi, 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 hoi. Usually looks much more attractive with the cilantro, but there you go. Soup. More soup. Mm, perfect. All right. We have leftovers for tomorrow. Okay. I'm gonna get out of here. It was nice talking to you. I might do this more. I like cooking, like a lot. It was nice seeing you. Did I say that already? My brain's not working. Don't worry about me. I should stream some more. Yeah, I would like to. I've just been I've been dealing with some health problems that are causing energy issues. But we're working on them. Hopefully they'll be improved soon. Um, yay. I'd show you my tattoo, but that would require me to take off my shirt. But I got a new tattoo on here and it's healing up very nicely. I can show you the bottom. Let's see. There we go. Hey, it goes all the way up. It was a horrible experience. It hurt very much and I was very tired after, but I'm very happy with it. But yeah, I do plan to stream more. I just everything's crazy right now and I kind of it makes me want to die a little, but not really. Just I'm very tired. Okay, it's great seeing you. I love you. I'll talk to you later and we're done. Bye.